Hello, lovelies. This is your May energy forecast. Well, another jam-packed month of lots of intuitive information that has come through for you, and I'm so excited to share with you everything that came through for May. I think a big thing to remember is that we talked about in March and into April where people's masks had fallen and they could no longer keep up a facade. So meaning that you would be seeing the true hearts and souls of people. And if you're in the spiritual community, you may have heard many times that the veil is disappearing, the veil is thinning. And we often think about that as the veil between us and the spirit world. But we don't think about the veil between us and other living people and the rest of the world. And sometimes that veil can be very elusive, very tricky, because it makes us feel like we are separate, that we are our own entity, that we are separate from our community or separate from the people around us. And it's just not so. Everything we do, say, and feel can affect other people. And it can affect other people in very dramatic and drastic ways. And I think part of the idea this month is realizing we have responsibility. Yes, we have this feeling of we want to fight for freedom. We want our independence. But at what cost? At the same time as this feeling of independence and this autonomy that we want within ourselves, we have to realize that we are interconnected with other beings, other living beings on this planet, with nature, with the cosmos. And so everything we do and say and feel affecting other people, affecting other plants, animals, nature, we need to know that our entire world, our atmosphere as we know it, hinges on the choices that we make coming forward. And we can create this new reality, what we want to see, but it's going to take some laser focused intention. So to actually really narrow down your intention, your goal. And I love the quote that a goal is just a wish without a plan. You have to make a very, very succinct, very clear, very narrowed down plan for what you want in order to achieve success right now. So this is not about opening up to everything. This is not about saying, oh, I'm just going to do something general and see what sticks. That doesn't work anymore. The energy of today is to narrow down, almost as if you're looking through the eye of a needle, and how small that picture is. It's going to help you cut away all distractions. It's going to help you cut away all the things that hold us back from creating the life that we want. And there's divine forces at play here. They want to support you, and they want to see you achieve your dreams. And some of you may have already seen kind of a shift happen in the last week or so, where we're starting to feel like this flush of creativity come in, and we don't quite know what to do with it. We're overwhelmed. And the thing is divine forces are giving us all these ideas about the future and where we should go. But a lot of it is outside our comfort zone, and we're getting very uncomfortable with change, or we've been uncomfortable with change. And so I think the thing to remember is that, first of all, get a clear intention. What do you want? Where do you want to go? Stay hyper focused in that area, and really use discernment to disengage emotionally from the things that you do not want to see. So that means right now worry is a big issue. You can't be in a state of worry and fear all the time, because you are a manifesting machine, and you are going to manifest so much worry and stress in your life you will not know what to do with it. It's so important right now. Pull yourself back. You want to create something or manifest a future that you desire, but to only focus on the things that lead you to achieving that goal. That's it. Nothing else. There's a big opportunity for the people that can do this, because like I said, those divine forces are at play right now, and they are supporting you. And the opportunity of transformation is so huge, but you can't stay the same. This is about doing things differently, doing things you're uncomfortable with. This is about stepping outside of your box and trying something new, stepping outside of the comfort zone and trying something that you maybe never thought you would do, or something unexpected. This is a huge opportunity for adventure right now. But that adventure is so important, because if you don't take that step out of the familiar, the step out of the sameness, you will be missing such a big part of yourself. You'll be missing so much about the true self that you really need to tap into right now. The other thing to know, it's really important. Relationships are such a big theme this year, and I'm gonna touch on it every month because it's so big. So even the clear intention when you have a disagreement with a loved one, so a clear intention for what you want, and to know that winning is not all it's cracked up to be. It's pretty lonely at the top. And so if you're really in a place where you're trying to win all the time, you're really not approaching things the right way. You're really looking for a very singular result. And again, not focusing on other people and how our actions affect other people and how do we do things with love. So in May, very important that you wait for the right timing to approach someone in a drama or in a conversation that goes a little sideways. Really listen. That active listening piece is so important right now. So very important that you pay attention to what your partner or what's happening in your relationship, whether it's a relationship with a child or a coworker or a friendship, but really listen to them, because I feel like we often don't listen. We just hear like little points or words that kind of trigger us and then we're off. This is about pulling yourself back, detaching from the energy of the emotion, really listening with curiosity and with love. So you really want to click into that active listening gear, because I think what's going to happen, what you're going to see, is that you'll be, as you have dropped your mask and they have dropped theirs, you'll be feeling the heart and soul of them, and you'll be able to see their kind of like their motive, like why they're behaving this way. Or maybe their inner child has been exposed, like we talked about last month. And so their woundedness might be driving their behavior, and it may have nothing really to do with you. So really important to listen. And that timing piece, the timing piece is almost more important than what you're going to say. So it's really important that you just listen. Allow the divine to inspire you to say what's needed with grace. Grace is a big theme this month. I feel like we're going to need a lot of it with ourselves and with others. So just that stepping back, being patient, listening, and handle those situations with grace. So the other thing that came up, which is so cool to me, I feel like every person has this like hidden treasure inside of them or along their path. And I feel like we don't always have access or ability to look into those things within ourselves or discover new things about ourselves for lots of reasons, whether it's busyness or maybe we're afraid or there's just too much. There's lots of routine in our lives and we just like that routine so much. We don't want to stray from it. But here's the thing. If you can step out of that old routine this month, if you can do something a little different and let go of that safety net, you are going to find out these amazing things about yourself. And you just have to let it happen. It's like the discovery piece is so important. But we have to be in a place of trusting at such a high level. To trust in those divine forces right now is so hard, but we're being pushed to. It's like, please, please, please trust. Just trust with this blind faith, because there's so many good things happening and coming for us. But the biggest thing is to take that time to let go of who you think you are and reveal your true self and to know yourself better. It's huge. Just think about how big it is to step back and look at the person you are now as compared to who you were, and kind of pat yourself on the back and say, hey, like, I'm doing a good job. I'm doing a good job here. I'm changing. I'm growing. I'm looking after myself. And you have to give yourself some credit for where you are. You've moved so far. And this is a really reflective time, but we've got to fit in a bunch of other stuff too, because May is super creative and productive. So we want to be on the right path, and we want to be manifesting the right stuff and not the stuff we don't really need, the extra. A big deal this month is to shed your old story. We all have those stories about our childhood, about people that formed us and shaped us, and we carry them with us in our backpack, and everywhere we go, we take out the stories out of our backpack to show people, and we say, look, this is who I am, and this is why I am the way I am. And I want to say to you, it is time to stop telling all those old stories about why you are the person you are, because I'm pretty sure if you really analyzed it, that you are not the same person that you were even a year ago. And so why do we go back and say, well, I'm this way because of that, and that triggered me because of this? Let's stop. Let's shed the old stories, start making the new ones, because we are in a new age. This is a new, kind of like a revolutionary age. So it's time to do some different stuff. It's time to just do the unexpected. Don't wait for permission. You don't have to have anyone's permission to live your life. And this is where, for me, intuition kind of steps in, because intuition, it's information that moves kind of fast. So sometimes too fast for us to really keep track of what's coming in. We got to really slow ourselves down and live in every moment and be present to really hear those intuitive moments. But if you are listening, you are being called forward. You're being called forward to see the magic in your life, the mystery, the beauty in our world that's there every day. We're being called for our purpose to move forward. And if you refuse the call, there's consequences at this point, especially if you've been aware for a long time. Like some people in our spiritual community have been aware for a long time, but not wanting to heed the call because it's too inconvenient or too hard. How will I make money? Or how will I live my life if I let go of this secure job? Or how will I function if I have to move to that new town I've been thinking about for ages? This is a time of blind faith. And I'm not saying everybody should go out there and quit your jobs. I'm saying that what you should do is fit whatever creative force you are inspired to do. You need to fit that into your life. You are a great creator. And if you are not creating, I can guarantee you're not happy. We are creators in our own life. It is so important that you find a way to create something that is all yours. So, I gotta catch up and see where I am here. Okay, big deal. Community. You're not alone. You are loved. And I know if you have been following spiritual leaders and teachers for a long time, this is something we preach. We say, you are loved. You are loved from the divine. You are loved with your community and people around you, regardless of whether that's your family or your found family. You are loved and supported. And we're really being asked this month to step up and ask for help. If you're not willing to ask, you are not willing to receive. Just as you can't receive what you are not willing to give, if you can't ask, you're not in a place to receive. So if you need help, time to step up and ask, and give people the gift of standing in their light and truth to help you. What a blessing it is when you give somebody the ability to fulfill part of their life path, no matter how big or small. It's so big right now to allow people to give to you. And the skill of receiving it's not an easy one, because to receive, you have to feel worthy. So that's why all the self-development, accepting self, being in a place of self-love is so important. So important this month. Even if bad stuff comes up for you when you're kind of like discovering things about yourself, even if you feel something that's like what we say, if we feel the light and the dark, you accept it all. Accept it all and know that you have the power to transmute beauty no matter what you learn about yourself or no matter how you feel. You can always pull that into you and change the energy into something very beautiful by owning everything you are, taking responsibility. That's a big one. Responsibility and accountability this month is highlighted. And you'll see this in the balance of power. So if we're looking at the great powers, maybe government or in the financial world, and you're looking at these great powers, I feel like what you're going to see is a more conscious approach beginning. Now, it's very early stages. I don't think it's something that we are going to see come to a complete cycle for many, many years. But I feel like May is a time for these little kind of bubbles to pop, where we will see these little kind of like discoveries about people within themselves and how they want to live their lives, and they want to be more accountable and responsible. You cannot move forward in your life unless you take accountability for where you are and take responsibility for your part in that. Simple. Accountability, responsibility. You are not an island, and although things have happened to you, you've had responsibility in all of those events as well. So take responsibility and accountability for where you are. It's really time for people in positions of power to understand that shared power is the most powerful we can all be, and the most power we'll all ever have. And it's not about who wins. It's not about who's on top. It's not about who's wearing the crown. It's really about knowing that it's not about winning. It's just about being in the supportive solution. So being in that supportive flow for others, for everyone, and also knowing that real leadership and real power comes from a place of being equal and being on the same playing field. We're all the same. Some people have some qualities that work really well for them in a leadership role, but most good leaders are really good listeners. They don't see themselves as above anyone else, and they're always learning. They're very amazing, amazing students. So you're going to be paying attention a little bit to those people in positions of power. Now, as this relates to your relationship, that is huge. If you are in a committed relationship, the power balance is going to be shifting back and forth until you are more equal. And I believe that's as we move very slowly, but as we move more into a matriarchal society rather than patriarchal. So patriarchal is very top down, very much you do as I say, not as I do, or just do things because I said so kind of idea. The matriarchal society is more balanced. So we're going to see more of a balance between that light and dark, more of a balance between who's in control, who's not, why, what's the authority there, what's the conscience and the thought behind it, and where do people's allegiances lie. That we're going to be looking at all of these things, okay? So just know this is a time to pick your battle. Pick your battle carefully. It is also a time for forgiveness and to make amends. And you may even have people come back into your life after many years to offer forgiveness, to offer that olive branch. And so it's very important for you to pay attention to your own self, your own behavior, and to know that you can handle every situation with grace, that we are all just people and we're all going through our own challenges. And it's time for us to take that high road and rise above the drama and create the world we want to see. And so that making amends is really important for that community feeling too, about having people around you and searching out those like-minded individuals. We really, that accountability, responsibility, but also openness to forgiveness, to allowing people to move forward. And think about forgiveness and healing as a way to create freedom. Because you're no longer bound by the grudge or the anger or the resentment anymore. It is very freeing, and it's true freedom. It's not the kind of freedom that we have to hurt other people to have. It's a different way of looking at freedom. Freedom with love means forgiveness, making amends, being supportive and open, and of course, showing love when needed, which is always in my book. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about as well is rest and renewal. So we've been through a crazy time. The beginning of this year has been jam-packed, full of lots of stuff. People are realizing maybe they have to change things about their life that have been very constant, things that they don't want to change, that's very uncomfortable, whether it could be any aspect of life, but all these epiphanies, these like kind of little moments of thoughts popping in have been coming at us, and we've been really struggling with just the change that's happened, just through our global change and through the pandemic. We've been struggling with just those kinds of shifts and changes, let alone all the shifts and changes that are happening within us. And so we're tired, we're weary, but May is the month that you put down your sword, leave the battle, and enter the garden of love. It's time. It's time to enter the place of self-acceptance, no matter what you find. It's so important that we do this now. Stop looking for someone else to save you, make you better, make you feel better. You must enter yourself at this time. You must. You will never find any significant other person on your exact level and your frequency without knowing yourself. It is time to look at everything you are and love yourself. Love yourself for all the light and the dark, the good and the bad. And just move forward and know that if you found things about yourself that you don't like, as long as you have a commitment to look at it, to assess it, to change your behavior, and to do better, welcome. You're human. Welcome. So this month, please, love yourself and be willing to see yourself in different situations. So drop that analytical mind. Just drop it. It doesn't work in this new age. It doesn't work the way it used to. It's time to make sure that you are doing things differently. And trusting that intuition, you're going to feel excitement. You're going to feel a little nervousness. But remember, your physical body, I think we've talked about this before, but your physical body will work against you because the brain only needs to protect itself and make sure it's safe. It doesn't care about you having new experiences or finding out who you truly are. It just wants to make sure that you don't hurt it. So you don't do anything that hurts it. So we have these very powerful survival mechanisms that have been keeping us from really doing things that we want to do. So trust that those wants and desires, and trust that intuition when it's speaking to you and it's asking you to please follow your path, no matter how unorthodox or ridiculous it may seem. Do the things that your intuition is leading you to do, because that's your sort of divine pipeline for messages and how you're going to live your life and fulfill your path. So I'm really excited about May. It's an awesome bunch of energy, and so much opportunity is there, and even luck, but you have to be a little bit prepared for how that falls into place with that intention, and making sure that your intention is very, very clear. And let go of the old. It's time. We're brand new. We're all brand new now. We've been through a lot, but we've all changed, and we're in a better place, and it's time for you to be okay with that. Until next month, see you later.